So before we get too far into Smash Brothers Ultimate speculation, I think it's really important to go over leaks, or at least this one leak, the one true leak right now, the one leak with credibility behind it. That's the DasVergeben Leak, or Vergeben Leak as some people call it, and I may be pronouncing his username wrong, I really don't know. So this leak essentially kind of came half true after E3. It didn't get anything wrong, it just, certain things that it said were going to happen haven't happened yet anyway. It predicted some characters. This is sort of similar to the Gamatsu or Jimetsu. Honestly, I have no idea how to pronounce these names, so if I'm saying it wrong, forgive me. Leak that happened for Super Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS. That leak got a lot of characters right, some characters that were kind of unguessable, like Wii Fit Trainer, but also two of the characters that were on it didn't ever get in. That was Crom and Chorus Kids or Chorus Men from Rhythm Heaven. It predicted them, and they never showed up. They were never in the game. So a lot of people kind of threw that leak out, but then a little while later, after some data mining and after an interview with Sakurai, I think an interview from him said that he did plan Crom to be in the game, and the data mining pulled up an emblem or an icon for Rhythm Heaven, kind of suggesting they were supposed to have a character. It's sort of agreed upon now that Gametsu had information that was true, but it was outdated. Now, I'm not saying that DasVergeben has outdated information, but at least not everything he appears to know about happened at E3. So it may happen later down the line, or it's possible he just got really lucky, but either way, I think it's important to go over it. If I'm going to go do speculation going forward, I think this leak's going to come up a lot, whether or not I'm talking about how many characters I think are going to be in the game total, or, you know, if I'm talking about how many characters are going to be in the game and I'm giving a spot to a character that's part of his leak, it might just be because I really think that character has more credibility than other characters because of the leak. So it's important to go over it. So first off, just the one character that he said that's going to happen that we haven't seen yet is a third-party character, and sadly it's not Geno. It's my favorite. I still think Geno has a good shot, but that's not the one that's leaked. The character that he said was going to happen is Simon Belmont from Castlevania. I like Castlevania too, so I'd be very happy with Simon Belmont. So he said Simon Belmont would be in the game, and obviously E3 is come and gone, and we haven't seen Simon Belmont. But he also said Ice Climbers, Ridley, and Solid Snake would be in the game. He added Solid Snake a little while later, and also added that there would be something Minecraft involved in the game. Not a character, but most people are guessing at a stage or possibly just an assist trophy. That would mean working with Microsoft, which would be a little out there. It's probably the one part of the leak that I'm really skeptical about. But DasVergeben also said that that he has multiple sources. So one might be right while another one might be wrong. So essentially, let me go over the leak timeline-wise. First off, he said that there'd be Simon Belmont, Ridley, Ice Climbers, and no cuts. So whether or not no cuts meant no cuts from Super Smash Bros. Wii U 3DS, or no cuts throughout all of Smash, which is what we got, it was vague enough that it could go either way, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He may not have known that everyone was coming back anyway, because he did specifically say that Ice Climbers were coming back, so I don't know, but essentially he's not wrong here. He then added a little while later that Snake was coming back, and the Minecraft thing. So we got Snake, and we didn't get Simon Belmont yet. But let's be honest about that. Guessing that Konami was involved at all was a pretty out there guess. Most people did not think Konami was coming back. And honestly, if Konami was coming back, I would have put more money on Simon Belmont coming in, and just we never hear from Snake again due to all the Konami-Kojima rivalry stuff and the fact that Sakurai and Kojima are friends. A lot of people were thinking Snake just had no chance. Well, now post E3, we have Snake, and we have Konami being involved. We even have Bomberman as an assist trophy. So the other really big Konami, franchise brand name is Castlevania. So if we did get a new third-party character, and it was from Konami, it would almost certainly be Simon Belmont. There's even more for Simon Belmont, too. Simon Belmont is... So, my generation who grew up with NES and Super NES, back in the day, characters like Mega Man and Simon Belmont, these were Nintendo characters. Like, you didn't look at Capcom or Konami as a separate company. You just saw that these games were on Nintendo consoles. These were Nintendo characters. I mean, even the Captain N cartoon show had Simon Belmont and Mega Man in it. These are characters that we really thought were just as Nintendo as Mario and Link and Samus and everybody else. So it kind of feels like he's a missing third party. If there was another third party character that really deserves to be in Smash alongside all the other Nintendo characters, it's a Castlevania character. And if you want to get classic Nintendo Castlevania, it's going to be Simon Belmont. So DasVergeben has, the one piece of his leak that, well, two pieces of his leak didn't come true. One was Simon Belmont, the other being the Minecraft thing. But the Simon Belmont part seems really likely to me. Now, DasVergeben also has a little bit more just credibility than, that he got Snake and Ridley right. I mean, other people were guessing at those characters. He also predicted the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for Injustice. I just think that's as difficult as Gametsu guessing Wii Fit Trainer. I don't think anybody could just pull that out of a hat. So he definitely has some real sources, or has had real sources in the past. He also has gotten things wrong. Specifically for Nintendo, he has gotten things wrong. And even during this leak, he said things like that there was this Castlevania compilation game that was going to be revealed at E3. That never happened. So, I mean, some people are saying maybe because there's that Castlevania Netflix series, maybe it's just being held off, as I think Konami has said that not releasing a Castlevania game alongside the Netflix series was a mistake. So it may be that they're holding back and they're going to, release the information that they're going to make a Castlevania compilation game for when the next season of that comes out or something. Nobody really knows for sure. So, there's some credibility here to this guy beyond just that Simon Belmont's a likely choice. So I want to talk about the Minecraft part. So I'm more wary about the Minecraft piece of it just because that would mean working with Microsoft. And I feel like if Nintendo was going to announce that Microsoft was going to have anything to do with Smash, it would have been at E3. Also, just Nintendo and Microsoft are usually pretty rival companies. But I will say, very recently there was a commercial where it was pretty clear Nintendo and Microsoft are working together. It's there. Nintendo and Microsoft are working together. So, this leak sort of predicted that too. Whether or not that means Minecraft's in Smash, well, let's look at it this way. Sakurai supposedly proposed Smash Bros. Ultimate back in 2015. Usually, or at least Sakurai has said specifically that when he chooses the list of characters he wants in the game, he doesn't deviate from that once he's chosen it. So it's pretty likely that if this Microsoft-Nintendo joint venture came to be, it was pretty recently, and it may be that Smash was already in development, so there's no Microsoft character. I would really want Banjo-Kazooie if I got to choose, but so there might be no Microsoft character, but newer IPs seem to be easier to put in the game as stages and assist trophies and things. We've seen this with, say, the Breath of the Wild stage. They showed briefly a look at a New Donk City stage. So I could see Microsoft and Nintendo joining up and it being so late in the game that they can't put, say, Banjo-Kazooie in the game or even Steve for Minecraft, but Nintendo said, hey, we're going to put a Minecraft stage in the game. And maybe if there is, Banjo-Kazooie or something, it'll be a DLC character. So I don't think DasVergeben is that crazy to guess at Minecraft or to predict Minecraft or to leak Minecraft. At first, I really thought he was, but now after that ad that showed crossplay that really specifically felt like Nintendo and Microsoft were coming together, it just seems more likely. So I'm thinking DasVergeben has something here. Whether or not it's outdated information like Gamatsu, or just information that he doesn't know when these characters are going to get revealed, that's where we're at. There's one other piece that he said more recently. Well, two things. One, just kind of reiterating, he's doubled down that yes, Simon Belmont is in the game. So he hasn't backtracked from anything. He's still very firm on his belief that Simon Belmont's in the game. They just didn't announce him at E3. Maybe they're saving it for like a Halloween, October announcement because Castlevania, or maybe something with that Netflix series. I don't really follow the Netflix series, so I don't know what the timeline of season 2 would be, or when they'll announce season 2, or whatever. I don't know where that's at, but maybe they'll announce him alongside that. And then the other piece that was a slightly newer piece of information is that DasVergeben said that there would be, including Simon Belmont, a little more than half a dozen characters remaining, and possibly more than that. So that would be 7 characters more than we know of, or if you take Simon Belmont out, 6 more characters at least. I also think it's a little bit more credible on DasVergeben's part to say that there'll be at least that many. I think one issue with the Gamatsu leak was that it seemed pretty solid, like these are the characters, and a few other characters that he didn't guess, like Rosalina, also made it in. So DasVergeben's kind of, protecting his back here. It's also very likely, Sakurai does this all the time, or at least he says he does, that he adds clones or echo fighters now towards the end of development. And sometimes he plans characters and they don't get made for various reasons. So if DasVergeben is saying there's at least half a dozen after Simon Belmont, so at least 6 more, there might be 7 or 8 more if Sakurai has the time to add, say, some echo fighters or something. It feels more realistic. I think even Sakurai at this point can't tell us exactly what the character select screen is going to look like, exactly how big the roster is going to be. He's not going to know that until he gets there, until the game's released. So I just wanted to go over that leak. Whether or not you believe it, I definitely throw at least some amount of credibility to it, so I will be talking about it as far as character speculation goes. So I just wanted to get it out there, get everybody on the same page with where I'm at with it, and you can make your own assessment of whether or not you think it's real. But I'm expecting Simon Belmont at this point. If he doesn't happen, it's a leak. It could be wrong, but I do expect him to show up at some point. Leave your comments below, subscribe, and until next time, have a good one.